This is a Fight Club. You know, it's the DVD Region 2, so it's the first, same as the Region 1. Apart from a little difference in, I'll be just checking something for an experiment. I'll just put the fader up at 7. Just the LCR screen channel running, no LFE. Set at 80 dB, fader 7. Okay, that's just too fucking loud. So it's like, well, that sounds a bit underwhelming. So why not just turn the fucking fader up to 10? Wait for it to come in, that sound. And gradually, at a certain point, I'll fade it down now. Down to 7.6. Down to about 5 on the fader. Down to about 4.6. 4.6. Yeah, that's comfortable. Music's rather bloody boring. Okay.
People are always asking me if I know Tyler Durden. 3 minutes.
That sounds realistic in
Ground zero.
Someone distant talking, and you gotta stay quiet in the auditorium.
Between your teeth,
you know.
Only in vowels. Can't think of anything.
Or I'll start fading the fader up.
People are always asking me if I know Tyler Durden.
3 minutes. This is it.
That's up at 10.
Ground zero. Would you like to say a few words to mark the occasion?
With a gun barrel between your teeth, you speak only in vowels.
I can't think of anything.
For a second, I totally forget about Tyler's whole controlled demolition thing, and I wonder how clean that gun is.
Getting exciting now.
That old saying, how you always hurt the one you love? Well, it works both ways. We have front row seats for this theater of mass destruction.
You know.
The demolitions.
I don't really like this movie anymore, so I'm only playing part of it as an experiment. Okay, I'm going to try something else now. Not interested in Bob. What I'm interested in is audio limiting. Audio limiting is what I'm interested in. There's a whole lot of things you could do with audio limiting that most people don't even think of. One can do all sort of kind of things with audio limiting. And yes, the Q dots are up in the right corner. Not. It's not a print version. Right, there's the audio limiters.
If X is less than the cost of a recall, we don't do one.
Kinds of accidents? What company do you work for?
A major one.
So with the fader at 7,
Which car company do you work for?
I'm going to put the SBO at 90. I'm just going to try and put my fingers over my ears because I don't like this.
I prayed for a crash.
Put my elbow over,
or a
no,
mid-air
no.
collision. Anything. Life insurance pays off triple if you die on a business trip.
Back here now.
If you were seated in an emergency, you would be unable or unwilling to perform the duties listed on the safety card. Please ask a flight attendant to reseat you.
Or you can use the audio limiter.
It's a lot of responsibility.
To use an audio limiter,
Switch
yes.
seats. No. Illusion of safety.
The illusion of DB.
I guess so. You know why they
Okay.
put oxygen masks on planes?
You want to know why they put audio limit? You want to know why they don't put audio limiters in a cinema? Because they want to deafen the bloody audience.
Breaths. Suddenly you become euphoric. docile. You accept your fate.
Okay, let's see.
It's all right here. Emergency water landing, 600 miles an hour. Blank faces, calm as Hindu cows. That's
I'm going to put it at 30 dB on the audio limit there.
What do you do?
Okay. SPL set at 90.
On takeoff for landing. I prayed for a crash or a mid-air collision. Anything.
Oh, that's a lot calmer. What's the SPL reading?
Life insurance pays off triple.
It's a little bit too soft there. So the fader at 0. Mind you, this is going Dolby Digital only out onto the Storm audio on the RCA phones. So the fader on the Storm is set at 0. DCXs are set just a few dB up. Just a tiny few dB.
Want to switch seats? No, I'm not sure I'm the man for that.
Just a tiny few dB. All the other outputs, more or less, just within tiny parameters to adjust. And the amplifiers are just set a little bit accordingly. So I'll play that again.
Oxygen gets you hot.
And I'll change the value until I get maybe an 85 dB.
I prayed for a crash or a mid-air collision. Anything.
Okay. Bit of an unusual thing to use, but it is a
You wouldn't believe.
bit like, yeah.
Which car company do you work for?
Let's see.
A major one.
Put it at minus 28.
Every time the plane banked too sharply on takeoff for landing, I prayed.
Put it minus 28
Company do you
on.
work for?
A major one. Every time the plane
Put
banked
minus
too sharply on
28, see where
takeoff
that
for landing,
goes.
I prayed for a crash or a mid-air collision. Anything.
That's not too bad. Okay, I'll try minus 27.
You wouldn't believe.
Which car company do you work for?
A major one.
Uh-huh.
Every time the plane banked too sharply on takeoff for landing, I prayed for a crash or a mid-air collision. Anything.
It's slam bit, okay, and then you get the air rushing. Okay. So allow for a small peak.
Company do you work for?
Try minus.
Every time the plane banked too sharply on takeoff for landing, I prayed for a crash or a mid-air collision.
Try minus 25. Try minus 25, see where that goes. That's not too bad.
Life insurance pays off triple if you die on a business trip.
That's DBC reading. The DBA, where our ears are sensitive, because that's going to be on the, say, like the HF horns and so forth.
For a crash or a mid-air collision. Anything. Life.
Let's see what it's like.
Anything.
Well, it's not too harsh on the high frequencies. Mind you, my SPL meter needs to be about mounted up here. I need to get a newer rig so I can mount it there. I could use this, but it's a bit broken. I've got I haven't got any blue tack, so can't really stick it down unless I tie it with string or cable tie. It needs to be about that angle, so it pick up the sound on the head. Otherwise, at that angle, it's a little bit off axis. but it still picks up the DBC readings, the bass mid partly, and some mid high, but the highs, you know, it needs to be about that angle. But yeah, I think that's setting -25 with the fader at 7. Yeah, that's comfortable. It's not too bad. I could go maybe -24. -24. I'll play it and I'll try and hold the SPL meter at that. Hold it with my hand.
These kinds of accidents?
You wouldn't believe.
Which car company do you work for?
A major one.
Just put it on DB. Yeah, keep it on DBC. I'll keep it on DBA because I just want to check the SPL on the DBA.
Or a mid-air collision. Anything.
That's comfortable. It went up to about 70. About peaked up to about 72 DBA. Of course, if I subtract the
a major one.
Turn off the bass cabs.
Pray for a crash or a mid-air collision. Anything.
Yeah, and I said DBA going up to, yeah, it's not too bad. You know, because the real thing would be so sudden when you lose your bloody hearing. Of course, but turn off the HF horns. I'll set it to DBC. Set it to about 80. Now, just make sure I've got the center on there. It's a bit muted. There we go. I went up peak up to about 85 and then it settled down a bit. I can still vaguely hear some of the dialogue because of the frequency roll off on the crossover crossover slope. It's 24 dB slope, but 300. Where is it? I think it's about 240. I think it's about 249 or 48 there. Anyway, interesting test that.